Actually, you know what? Let's get started on Yeezy season, okay? Yeezy season is approaching. Kanye West wears White Lives Matter shirt at surprise Yeezy show. Kanye West is known to make statements. Some of the statements he makes are famous, like George W. Bush doesn't care about black people. That was many, many years ago, of course. That was a good take that he had, and a true one. In the immediate aftermath of Katrina, as they were raising funds for Katrina, he's made some terrible statements, kind of like a couple of them that I could rattle off the top of my dome. Slavery was a choice. It's a mindset, or numerous other things along the lines when he was going through it all. And of course, Candace Owens was like the grifter that Candace Owens was always the grifter that just like jumped down his throat at any given opportunity. And now Kanye West is doing it again. He's going back. He's saying White Lives Matter. This is a shirt that he's wearing at his surprise Yeezy fashion show in Paris Monday. Now, here's the thing. I do like Kanye West's understanding of fashion. Obviously, I think what he's doing is AmeriCorps. Like I said, it's something that I personally appreciate as well. But there's a line that you can't cross in AmeriCorps, I think. And I believe he's doing that. I believe he's trying to cross said line in AmeriCorps, where, like, you can wear Realtree camo, you can, wear Harley Davidson shirts, you can wear NASCAR t-shirts, vintage, old NASCAR t-shirts, stuff like that. But then, you probably should not be repping an overtly white supremacist counter to Black Lives Matter, right? And it's just like, it's corny. I think it's a miss. I think he's kind of losing it a little bit. He wants to be edgy. He wants to be unique. He wants to be provocative. And there are plenty of ways that you can go with that. But the White Lives Matter shirt is just like, eh. He did this in 2013 with the Confederate flags. Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. And by the way, what I'm talking about with respect to Kanye West is not even like just drama, okay? White Lives Matter is very much a propaganda talking point created by white supremacists and the far right and right-wingers in general to misdirect the attention away from Black Lives Matter. It is the white pride to the black pride, okay? During the civil rights movement, there was a concept known as black pride, black power. That's where that came from. Not black pride, but black power, right? And white supremacists in the Klan saw that and decided, we should do white identitarian politics, because they can't just be like, we're just racist. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to be called a racist. Nobody wants to be considered a racist. Once you are openly racist, your numbers are going to diminish. You're not going to be able to bring in the normies, right? So for that reason, they came up with, and they routinely come up with, like, different kinds of PR around their racial agitated propaganda. And one of those things is white pride or white power. And this is the exact same thing. When Black Lives Matter was gaining momentum, they started saying White Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. And the reason why they said that was because they wanted to shift the attention away from Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter does not mean white lives don't matter. It just means black lives currently don't matter. So we want to talk about that. Okay. The rapper staged a surprise Yeezy fashion show on Monday in Paris, okay, showcasing his Season 9 collection to much fanfare. Before the models appeared, West gave a speech while wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt emblazoned with the Pope's face on the front and the same bedazzled flip-flops he sported last week. He references ex-wife Kim Kardashian's 2016 Paris robbery, his former manager Scooter Braun, the struggles he faced entering the fashion industry, his recent fallout with Gap, and much more. Before the show, Ye teased some of the famous models expected to make appearances: Kardashian, ex-girlfriend Irina Shayk, current flame Candace Swanepoel, as well as other big names like Beyonce, Rihanna, Angelina Jolie, Lauryn Hill, Naomi Campbell, Emily Ratajkowski, Gisele Bündchen, Bella Hadid, and Amelia Gray Hamlin. However, it appears only Shayk, Campbell, and Hamlin made appearances, with the Russian model watching from the side as the two others walked on the runway. Yeah, Emily Ratajkowski didn't make an appearance, including Bella Hadid. Why the would they make an appearance when you're literally featuring White Lives Matter shirts? That is so insane. Why does he think? I don't even think these people were going to show up. I think he just said it. But like, some of these people do have political opinions that do not align with that at all, okay? Some of the models in the show wore the same shirt emblazoned with White Lives Matter on the back, as well as as well, while fans on social media reacted. Sending a White Lives Matter t-shirt down a runway in Paris is literal insanity, and no amount of gospel is getting that man through Heaven's Gate. I'm so sorry, one person tweeted. Another wrote, mind you, Kanye was just calling Kim and Chris the KKK 2 weeks ago. Now he's wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. Yeah, he's just out of his mind. Others recalled the infamous trip to the White House wearing a MAGA hat. West is also previously called controversy wearing a jacket with a Confederate flag on it in 2013. There's just people from the same planet, and sometimes in high school, it feels like we don't fit in. And in a situation like this, we have the opportunity to come together to express who we are, told West to Vogue of his vision for the runway ahead of the show. It's leaning into the shape of how I see this future world, this alternate world, but in high school. It's focused on curriculum because both my parents are educators. And the curriculum is CRT, but critical racism theory, okay? The curriculum is like, yeah, we're actually going to wear racist. That's the curriculum. It's a future that libtards are afraid of, brother. West has been attending fashion shows in London and Paris all over the past week, even making his runway debut as a model, opening the Balenciaga fashion show on Sunday. Khloe Kardashian, Kyle Jenner, and his daughter Northwest sat in the front row of the stars walk through the muddy runway. Previous Yeezy shows have been marred by disaster, having previously made guests wait for hours in the hot sun, painting models and more. However, this is the first time West has taken his designs to Paris Fashion Week. Oh, the Balenciaga one was in mud too, by the way. They made everybody walk through the mud, which is kind of weird. So all lives matter is supposed to be the deflection, right? White lives matter is the overtly white supremacist version of that. Or they're not even saying like, oh, what about all lives? Like, they're just straight up like, no, white lives matter, mother. Now, when you say Black Lives Matter, and I'm not talking about the dumbass like philanthropic organization, okay? I'm talking about when you say Black Lives Matter, you're talking about police brutality. You're talking about the fact that black people are being undermined. Black people are being oppressed by the criminal justice system, the racist criminal justice system, right? No such similar thing is happening to white people in a disproportionate rate. So it's a direct way to undermine the message of Black Lives Matter. Of course, Kanye didn't just wear that and rep it. He also brought Candace Owens along, okay? He just straight up brought Candace Owens along, dude. I mean, that's it. It's obvious what he's doing here. I think he's just like wearing white supremacy like a badge to like trigger people, which is ironic because that's kind of how 4chan kids operate as well. But those kids are white, okay? That's the difference. They're not, their children are going to be white. Kanye West has black children. He's black. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, you just can't act like this doesn't impact you, okay? Like, yeah, sure, he's rich. But I just don't understand how you genuinely cast that aside. Yeah, he's in the rookie hole. He straight up thinks being a free thinker is doing the opposite of what people tell you to. Yeah. What is your big Kanye stand in the chat saying? But reclaiming the words or symbols takes the power away from it. I argue that. I don't disagree with that, but there are also exceptions to the rule. Okay. There are reasons as to why you shouldn't be doing marketing for a message that is straight up the opposite of like one that believes in your existence. Also, when you bring out Candace Owens with you, when you're rolling the out, there is no reclaiming, dumbass. Oh, dude, I'm just reclaiming 1488. That's why I brought Richard Spencer on. What? There's no commentary in that situation. The commentary that you're thinking of is not, like him shitting on that message or trying to reclaim it. It's just him straight up saying, I like this. I with this. And what he's with in that circumstance is white supremacy. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. The amount of fans that will dick ride Kanye to the very end is wild. I mean, yeah, of course, Valorant streamer needs to stay out of politics. Candace Owens' appearance is signaling confirmation that he means it in a white supremacist way. Yeah, it's just like, as most black people would say, including myself, Kanye. I mean, this is just like insane. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say about it. Reclamation, right, of fascist symbolism, for example, is already a tricky subject. Rammstein wanted to do it, and people actually thought that it was quite controversial when they tried to do it. They're German, and they're anti-fascist, okay? So they tried to not necessarily like reclaim all of the imagery, but some of it. But there's a difference between anti-fascists trying to do that versus Kanye West bringing Candace Owens up to be like White Lives Matter. Do you get it? Rammstein is anti-fascist in German, okay? Kanye West is black, but is aligning with a black white supremacist. The internet racists immediately started weaponizing this. What did he think he was doing with this? Yeah, I just don't. You know what it is? The saddest part about it is it's so half-assed, okay? Yeah, obviously, he did this so that we would all talk about it and all this other shit, right? But it is so fucking half-assed. It's like a kid's brain trying to parse through relatively not even relatively, like, not even that complex, like just introductory politics, and failing to do so in an adequate manner. You could potentially make a political statement about white lives matter, right? But when you align with Candace Owens and you bring Candace Owens into the show, all of a sudden the political statement you're making is, you know, that it's not that bad. You know, white lives do matter. Like, shut up, everybody. Turning Point USA, a conservative organization founded by Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, just hinted at Ye performing at a festival.
South Carolina last night. His remarks were not focus grouped. There weren't a lot of platitudes or cliches. They were as unusual, in fact, as eccentric as the man himself, but in some ways they were remarkable and worth watching. Take a look at this.
Freedom does not come from an election. The freedom comes from you not loading up pornography. The freedom comes from you not taking the Percocet.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, dude.
Freedom comes from you not downing your brother and your sister. The freedom comes from you putting that gun down and not shooting people at the gas station.
We have to go back through all this and talk about everything we said, because I had to take Percocets in pain.
And God's people.
A celebrity musician telling you that freedom does not come from porn or drugs or pulling a gun on people. It comes from God. He said a lot of things, by the way. Some of them we wouldn't agree with at all. Some very unusual proposals made the roster, too, including giving $1 million to any woman who has a baby. But it was interesting. And
he's so impressionable. He's like a baby, dude. He literally is like a baby. He's a baby who's like lashing out at the world, and he's surrounded by sycophants. We've seen this so many goddamn times with like celebrities, okay? He's like a child. That childlike creativity sometimes helps him, but that childlike creativity, when matched with like a bunch of sycophants and yes men, which Genius showed, for the record, that is exactly what that showed. And that was completely, that output was completely controlled by Kanye West, by the way. And even then, you could still see it, okay? He's like a baby. He is surrounded by sycophants. You can say lol hater all you want. He's made cool music. I like his music. I even like his fashion. Okay. But the reality is, like, when you are surrounded by sycophants and yes men, on top of that, you're like looking for any kind of like institutional backing that you can get. You are going to surround yourself with people like Candace Owens, who will say everything and anything to make sure that you become an arbiter of their message. It's just bad.
the most arresting moment came when Kanye West talked about abortion. Watch this.
Let me hear it, bro.
That was crazy. That was him like having a meltdown. I remember that. He was like crying, talking about how his dad wanted to abort him and all this shit. Like, he was crazy.
My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
Like, I like Kanye's music, but what the does he know about politics? Okay, you know, I like some of Kanye's music. I like some of Kanye's fashion. What the does he know about cameras? What the does he know about politics? Nothing. Okay, I'm sorry. He's just going around with whichever way the wind is blowing. I want to hear Jabri. I want to hear the resident Kanye simp Jabri's take on this. I do actually want to hear from him. I'm gonna DM him right now. Let's hear what he has to say. I just DM'd him. We'll see.
No speechwriter wrote that, and it's a dangerous point if you think about it. They can say they love.
No, I'm not DMing a chatter. It's Jabri. He's. I mean, like, obviously he's great. He's very smart. He's very funny. He also likes Kanye for understandable reasons, right? I just want to hear like what he has to say about it. He's a YouTuber. For those of you who don't know, Jabri, J. Aubrey. Also a HasanAbi head. He is a chatter as well.
But if they clutter your neighborhood with abortion clinics, they're lying.
No, this is facts, bro.
But no one wanted to engage it, of course.
Putting them in context.
But it's still what we're talking about. Instead, TMZ reported that many people in Kanye West's circle believe he needs, quote, serious help, and then cited an anonymous family member who explained that he's experiencing a bipolar episode. And by the way, maybe he is. We don't know, but it doesn't mean what he said is wrong.
He said he might be bipolar, but hey, and it might have been a manic episode, but let me tell you something, okay? I like it because it agrees with me. That says a lot about Tucker Carlson and how disposable he sees black people first and foremost, okay? Celebrities in general, understandably, everybody sees celebrities as like disposable, who gives a f, right? Expendable. But he just straight up is like, yeah, well, normally I would be directing hate crimes. I would be directing my community to do hate crimes towards any number of different black celebrities because a lot of them are Democrats, or as we like to call them, woke, okay? But this time, there is a black celebrity who might be going through it currently, but it doesn't really matter to me because he's saying the right things.
Boom! Right. Over on CNN, of course, they were horrified by it. Call him crazy as quick as you can before anyone pays attention to what he's saying. I just want to be clear. I have no idea what Kanye West's mental state is.
It seems that's the best wishes. Everyone's jams.
We don't need no more.
He just straight up is like, first of all, for those of you who don't know, I'll just come out and say it, okay? There is no, standpoint theory. There is no, I don't give a f, okay? I'm white and I'm Turkish. I'm incredibly far removed from ever experiencing white supremacy, especially anti-black racism, white supremacy in the form of anti-black racism, the most important type of white supremacy, the most, the most solid, understandable, tangible form of white supremacy. I will never understand it, okay? I will never feel it. But that doesn't change the reality that, like, I have a decent understanding of what it is, okay? I have a decent understanding of what it is, and I can speak on it, but just because someone is black, even if they are like Candace Owens or channeling Candace Owens like Kanye West, does not change the reality that, like, I'm right in this circumstance and he's wrong. Okay, there is no like, there's no Yu-Gi-Oh trap card where you're just like, haha. Well, guess what? This is a black man saying this. So the real white supremacy was the demo rat party all along. You know, escape the plantation, like that sort of thing. There is no, that doesn't work. If that worked, then Candace Owens would be popping. Okay. Now we're not gonna watch this because it was a mentally ill person's nervous breakdown. Okay, that was of course weaponized again by Republicans and people who do not give a f about them. Is Kanye pulling a Lincoln Project on conservatives like Candace Owens? No, I think he's just, it's simpler than that. I think he's like looking for people who will defend him. And Tucker Carlson is validating his delusions, as Mango JPEG also pointed out, at a key moment. And it's sending him into a rabbit hole where he feels like Fox News is the only thing he can trust. But that came before that. This has been a downward spiral. This has been a downward spiral since his mother passed away. Okay. Kanye West has been on a downward spiral since then. Okay. It's very obvious. If you know anything about Kanye West's history, you know this. You understand it, okay? He has not been all right. And, getting off his medication, not controlling his urges, not having a good support. Why can you speak about and not an actual black person dumb? Bro, I don't know if you understand this, but there's a concept called tokenization, okay? Or a concept like weaponizing a singular black person, okay? Considering your secondary follow-up comment, I'm going to go ahead and assume that, like, the only reason why I give a shit about Kanye West and what he's saying is because he agrees with you in this circumstance, okay? But this is, I already described this to you. There is no world in which you're like, well, I'm a black person, so I win this argument. Anyway, I'm banning you because of the slurs that you used, but it's more so Candace Owens that saw an opening and straight up exploited it. Candace Owens made contact with Kanye West at a time when he was desperately looking for any kind of person to like validate his existence, validate his experiences, and she joined the sycophant lineup, okay? And she snuck in there and just started blasting him with like insane shit and leached him. And she did a really great job at it. Let's be real. She was profoundly successful at it. Okay? And this is the aftermath of it. There are things that I know about behind the scenes from friends that work not directly with him, but friends that work with other people that work with him, other celebrities.
I keep subbing
and I know that there was a point in time when he was like at his peak of his manic outbursts. Like he was, straight up extremely into like black Israelite theories and things of that nature. Wow. I think he just like kind of dropped all that stuff, trying to what do you call it? I mean, it was a very convoluted and complicated sequence of political takes. And that kind of stuff you can't really explain as a white person to other white people, okay? But this I can. The basic, like, white supremacist conservative you can very easily understand that and very easily describe it. That's pretty basic. The other, like, Hotep adjacent things, well, that's yet another byproduct of white supremacist education. And the only counter to that being, unfortunately, things that you have to seek out on your own. I mean, that's way more convoluted and way more complicated to get into. I'm not going to get into it right now. Okay. And that was a couple years in the past at this point, so it doesn't really matter. But he goes in and out of backing Trump and you know, advocating for these kinds of values, these kinds of insane things that he's saying. And we're at yet another saga in the Kanye West story. HasanAbi staying out of black people business, impossible difficulty. Man, shut the f up, Bishop Duma. Shut up. I'm a political commentator. Like, Kanye West is literally posing with Candace Owens in Paris. Like, what do you mean? This is no longer a black people business at this point, okay? Seriously, that's an idiotic assessment here. What the f do you mean? It was a joke? Oh, okay, well, sorry. There are people who, like, use that legitimately. Candace Owens' entire existence is that. Saying to other people, stay out of black people's business, I'm black, so I can say whatever the f I want. There was way worse shit that was never released regarding Pete Davidson that was never released according to my friend who works for Ye. Even Kanye fans aren't happy with what Kanye did and won't defend his actions, using this tweet as an example. Dark day for us Kanye fans. Not shocked, just wish he didn't have to use White Lives Matter shirt to get whatever point he wants to make across. I've been defending him hard, especially during the divorce. This one right here is a head scratcher, though. Everybody act like Kanye's art was never about provocation and confusion. I mean, MAGA cap, federated flag bomber, the famous music video, the VMA. Stop pretending to be shocked to follow the herd. I mean, dude, it's stupid. Like, it's so stupid. Oh, he's a provocateur, so he just, like, will provoke in a white supremacist fashion. Okay, got it. If you want to suck up to white people, but specifically racist white people so much, yeah, go off, King. You know,